We're working on those, trying to improve the product and trying to get it to you. Last week we had our guest Michael Reuter on, the CEO and owner of American Cycle and Fitness. What an amazing interview. Filled us in on what's really happening with the pandemic and what's going on with the bike shortage globally, and gave us a little background on how we got started and how he got to 8 stores and being the largest trek retailer in southeastern Michigan. So let's get past that. Let's get into this week's guest. This week's guest is beyond inspirational. He's motivational as well. A gentleman that I admire. Let's get right into it. Cartiear Madlock. What's up, Cartiear?
Not too much, Jason, man. How's everything going?
Another day around here at Electric Avenue Bikes, man. Just trying to service some bikes, man. But let's tell everybody, just get into it, man. Tell everybody your story, why you're here.
Right, man. So basically, I lost 120 pounds after going vegan almost 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years in June. I kind of was facing some legal troubles, man. Recently divorced, and things were just kind of crashing down on me, or at least it felt like that. So I got to a point where I literally just felt like I was gonna die any day. I had like a recipe for death, so to speak. So I was eating late and in large quantity. I was drinking. I was just depressed. So I decided to do a juice fast. It was a 7-day juice fast, straight juice, and maybe I would try to get a gallon of water in, maybe every day, every other day. Um, and then I broke the fast with only fruits and vegetables. So after that, I was 2 weeks vegan. So I literally looked up and I'm like, wow, I'm vegan. And I literally just laughed to myself. And, anybody who knows me knows that I'm always up for a challenge and challenging myself in some way. So it literally just became a challenge to see how long I could keep it up, man. And here we are almost 2 years in, and it's one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life.
So let's talk about the journey a little bit, because we all know the journey to seeing results is probably the first hardest journey. Everybody starts working out and they start looking at the scale, and immediately they want to see just mad results. When did
Right.
how long did it take you to really get to the point where you said, wait a minute, now I'm starting to see some change here?
Yeah, so the interesting thing, man, is that I've always yo-yo dieted. So my second biggest weight loss was 80 pounds, but I put everything back on plus more. So to see results for me wouldn't be the usual results for the average person. So 30, 40 pounds, and I'm not even telling anybody that I'm dieting, because I'm afraid to put it back on. And at basically what it became is I really started to put the word out at around 80 to 100 pounds of weight loss. My thing was like I'm vegan, but I don't really want to tell anybody because I'm still a big vegan. You know what I mean? Uh, but that was the thing, man. Just staying diligent. I got up to a point where I was working out 30 minutes before work. Then I would walk for 30 minutes on my lunch break. And when I got home, I would do some weight training, man. So it got pretty rigorous, but I once you start to see those results, you start to kind of just salivate, and it's like, well, how far can we push this thing, man? And now I'm just in the mode of maintenance, and that which is the hardest part, but just making sure it's a lifestyle, rather than a diet, right?
So you're talking about going vegan, and that's a big step. Did you start to do any research on it? I mean, or did you just start initially just cutting out, what you knew were definitely meat and meat byproducts?
Yeah, so what it became like after the challenge was on, right? After I said, wow, I'm vegan, I'm 2 weeks in, then of course, like anything else any other endeavor for me, man, I try to do as much research as possible. So it literally consumed me. If I was at work, I was watching vegan stuff all day. I even saw a documentary on lentils. So I just engulfed myself in plant-based eating, weightlifting while plant-based recipes, just things of that nature, man. And that helped out a lot because it constantly reminded myself of the journey, of the goal, and of course, following other vegan people of color, which I'm a minority in the vegan
Hmm.
community. But it really just kind of opened things up to me just to see how possible this thing was and how it's changed so many lives.
So I'm vegetarian. I'm not ready to go vegan. I mean, I've tried it, and I see the light at the end of the tunnel. Believe me.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
how did people around you start to, process this? Because when I went vegetarian, I can tell you, especially being a person of color, back when I
Right.
started, because I've been a vegetarian actually 25 years. So
Wow.
when I started, people thought I was absolutely crazy. So how did people around you, did you start to get a support unit, or was there more resistance, for your change in lifestyle?
Yeah. Well, first of all, kudos to you, 25 years in, because there weren't as many options, 25 years.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So man, what really happened is self awareness is key. That's the foundation, right? So I know who I am, and uh, I really wouldn't hang out. I wouldn't go out. My thing was I work out, I go to work, I'm spending time with my daughter, and then I go to work again. And on the weekends, I'm editing video or running my businesses. And I didn't go out because I didn't want that temptation. So once it started to become known and people started to really see results, I would kind of say it like, you know what, like I'm vegan. I've been vegan, and I didn't really even want to say it loud because it was almost unbelievable to myself. But once I really started to embrace the lifestyle and embrace the compliments that people started to give me and the admiration that I would get from people, I became, this knowledge center for people, this point of reference. And if anything, the reactions I would get would just be, "What? So you don't eat any meat? You don't? It's always they're always
Right.
reiterating the rules, right? You don't eat any dairy, no eggs, no cheese." And I'm just like, nope, none of that. So, it's support, but at the same time, it was a big wow factor from a lot of my close friends.
So it was a complete lifestyle change. That's what a lot of people don't get, is when
Yeah,
you're going vegan or vegetarian, it's not one of those decisions you can really just make and say, this is what I'm doing. I mean, you really have to adjust your entire lifestyle to accommodate for that type of living.
indeed, man. I got my bike rack on the back of my car now, man. So it's any and every little edge I can get, man, I'm trying to take it just because, like you say, making that lifestyle change, and that means in every little kind of nook and cranny of your life, you got to clean it out and you got to replace it with something that's going to be conducive to that new lifestyle.
Now, I got to ask before we move on, because we talked about, not only have you evolved becoming vegan, but you've clearly made a life change, because the story started with you being in some situations, and then making the lifestyle change. So before we get into the rest of the changes, I got to ask you, what was the hardest thing to give up?
Actually, cheese and eggs,
Ah,
man.
yes, yes, man. You know me, I'm the pizza king, and so
Hey,
like
man,
I
cheese
can't
goes
be
in
the
everything.
I can't be the king of pizza and give up cheese and everything else. So that's the hardest thing for me is cheese right now.
Yeah, by far, man. Like cheese and eggs. Eggs can be an additive on a burger. Like cheese can too.
Mm-hmm.
So those things were the hardest. And if you want, you can have cheese eggs. So it
Right.
was tough.
Right. So as far as like talking about lifestyle change, you brought it up. Do you eat fast food anymore, or do you just have you just really because you just can't know what's in that stuff?
Exactly, man. And very rarely. So and we all know, you can be an unhealthy vegan, right?
Mm.
So every now and then, yeah, I do indulge, but it'll be something like CMO, right? Or, something like that. Fast food to me is fried food. So anything fried. And I just try to make sure I incorporate a lot of leafy greens in just about every meal, that I consume. And quiet as it's kept, man, I became a great chef. Like it's no secret I was a
That
big
was
fan.
that was my next question.
I
Really, I
can
was
cook,
I was
man.
going there. I was going there.
I
You have to.
You have to. I always could cook, but then incorporating these recipes and kind of making these stir fries out of any and everything, right? I got a lot better, man. It's just at natural flavors and cooking these natural foods. So of course, somewhere down the line, get ready. We may see me in a white chef's coat and hat.
Hey, there's not enough vegan restaurants. There'll never be enough, man. So keep bringing the good stuff. So let's talk about the future. You're saying you got some businesses going on. Talk to me about once again the continuance of life change, man. And all this came through a diet. You know what I mean? We
Right.
talk about a diet, and really, not I'm gonna get you back on topic. But what people don't understand is when you clear your mind of things like that, it opens your mind up to be able to suck in other things. And so for me, when I stopped drinking, almost 3 years ago, my level of creativity went up because I was less concerned with how to get alcohol and how to get drinks and where I was hanging out and more concerned with how I can further and better my situation. So let's talk about your businesses and what you're doing now, brother.
Yeah, man. So, my first business was Black Business Finder, and I started out kind of just trying to help share the stories of Black-owned businesses within the city of Detroit, and that became my passion. Just any creative outlet for me. I was just always trying to find my new thing, but that I believe at this point is my life's purpose. But I kind of stumbled upon Vegan Black Guy while running my business. I had recently left my job to really pursue my cinematography business, and man, shortly after the pandemic hit hard, and everybody was looking to boost their immune systems, and I'm like, I know I have this great immune system. I've always been taking this stuff, throughout my journey. So I decided to kind of turn that into a business, man. And it became more than I ever could have imagined. Like especially when the pandemic first hit, man, I had people in my inbox just kind of pouring out to me like my mom has this and she has this disease, and is there anything you can suggest, just whatever you can give. And I'm like, I didn't sign up for that, but life has its way of kind of steering our course, right?
Yep.
And so I just became this almost fountain of knowledge for
Mm.
people. And what it really is above all else, man, is it holds me accountable. I can't be the vegan, I can't be the fat vegan Black guy, right? So
Right?
I have to live the lifestyle, and that's the blessing in disguise. Maintenance has always been tough for me, but as long as I keep this brand going, man, I have that accountability.
Now I hear you, man, because I'm right up there with you. Whenever people see me driving a car, they lose their minds, because I'm the bike guy. You know what I mean? I
Exactly.
literally one day I went on Facebook and I saw somebody's headline and it said, I could have swore I just saw Jason Hall driving a car, has hell frozen over. Like,
How
so
right? How
I
dare you?
but like you said, through that motivation, it keeps me on top of my game. It keeps me in shape. It keeps me in touch with the knowledge of what's going on with bikes. And it just reminds me when I lose sight of sometimes who I am. And like you said, the responsibilities that we have taken on. You didn't ask to be the vegan Black guy. Well, you were going to be the vegan Black guy anyway, but you didn't ask to be the vegan Black guy. And
Right.
now where we are in society, there's not a lot of us.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? We are definitely a growing population. So yeah, man, own that. Be proud of what you've created, man. That was going to be one of my questions because I know you've heard from people that you never thought you would hear from. Do you have a story? Because I got a million, but do you have one that sticks out that is just that one that's like, that's where I go in my mind when it gets tough?
You know what, man? A story, man. So when I was really in the prime of my journey, man, every morning before work, when I had the 9 to 5, man, I was doing 30 minutes a day on the treadmill, right? So on YouTube, Bishop T.D. Jakes has these 28-minute sermons. And I mean, they are countless, right? There's so many of them. So I would just listen every morning. So I'm killing two birds with one stone. I'm getting my spiritual, energy, and I'm getting my physical, right? So it was one, and I'm paraphrasing. I'm gonna massacre what he was really talking about, but he was just kind of, and I also found I had to find a higher power going through what I was going through at that time. So he got to a point where he was talking about Moses and his burning bush, and how he had traveled all of these miles, and when he passed the bush for the first time, the bush was burning, and when he came back from his journey, the bush was still burning, and he just talked about how, and I'm getting a little
Nah,
emotional.
nah, man, that's real. You know what I mean? Let it
Yeah.
be. I'm not telling you to start crying, but I'm
No,
telling you if
no,
that's
it's
where
all
it
good.
takes you, man, that's where it takes you because this is reality.
Yes, but he talked about how that bush had not been consumed, and I wouldn't allow. Yeah, this is me though. I'm this is what I went through. I knew I couldn't allow what I was going through to consume me. So that was all of the motivation in the world, you know, just hearing that. And of course he preached on about that, man. But I was bawling on the treadmill, which is not a far cry from what's going on right now. Uh but again, man, just hearing that story about how the bush had not been consumed and it was just undergoing this inferno. And yeah, I was going through hell, bro, at that time. And like I said, and that was, I had to incorporate that spiritual, uh, that spiritual journey with the physical journey, man. And I don't ever plan on going back, and that helped me a ton. But that's the moment, man, where I just, I knew I would be all right, you know. I was facing 5 years, man. I have a felony now, and let's get it all out there. So right around the 25th of this month, it will have been 2 years on probation, and uh, and I'm eligible to get off. So none of this is
Amen, brother. Amen.
Yeah, thank you, man. Like I
Amen.
was a gifted and talented kid. I'm a product of Detroit public schools. This was never supposed to happen. I was just trying to make a couple of extra dollars, man, and feed my family. And I didn't go about it the right way, and I got that slap on the wrist, and that righted my course. And sometimes we have to learn the hard way, right?
Bro, that's an understatement. I often look at, so you got me up here crying.
Oh,
I
man,
often look at everything I've been through
right?
and I say, I wouldn't be here without that. Like I wouldn't be alive. I wouldn't be healthy. I wouldn't be talking to you if I hadn't
Exactly.
have gone through all that. So no experience, they might be hard, but no experience is without learning. Man, look what you done did, man. You done turned my show all into crying and all kind of.
Right? We
It's
done
not
turned
supposed.
it the Oprah hour,
And
man.
you know what I'm saying? You see how this started out? I was like, man, and now this is probably. Thank you for that,
Maybe
man,
I
because
had
now
to
you
join this
see
in
what I'm saying.
chaos, right?
You just in the moment that we've been talking, you are giving me therapy. So there's no way you can't be touching people on a daily basis, just being who you are, man. I said earlier, not only are you an inspiration, and you're a motivator. And what I mean by that is, I feel like inspiration is passive. I think when you get inspired by something, you have the tendency to be like, yo, it's cool. I'm inspired by that. I might make some change. But when you're motivated,
Yes.
that's when you are making movement and action. And that is what you are doing, brother. What is next, man? So the vegan black guy, I know that's going. So you're talking about how you're already working on your multimedia. You gotta be starting something with that, right? Podcast, some type of something.
Yes, man. So I got some things really, man, in the works as far as the multimedia, man. So I've got a trademark that I'm actually waiting on the 20th. I'm supposed to go be published for my trademark, and then I have a certain amount of time before someone can appeal or whatnot.
Mhm.
But my web series Entrepreneur, and of course a play on words for Black entrepreneurs, just kind of getting those stories out, man. I've really found a niche within that space. Um, and I'll have merchandise for that soon. I'll have vegan black guy merchandise. Trying to expand the product line with that. I'm actually a part of a pretty cool cohort right now that I can't really announce,
Okay.
but it's an opportunity that can really help kind of fund the dream of vegan black guy. And I'll put it out there, man. I'd love to get a shipping container. And what I really want to do, because smoothie bowls have been like my candy throughout this journey. So I want to get this shipping container, man, and make these smoothie bowls. And I want it to be a one-stop shop where I can add vegan black guy sea moss. We can add oregano oil or whatever other kind of natural enhancements or just natural products that are great for your health. And of course, you can buy those products individually there as well. So just the whole journey for this business, man, is just giving people a little piece of the things that really help me along.
Man, brother, I can't, am speechless right now, man. I knew what I was getting into. You know, I
Right.
usually get to do a little pre-interview, so I would have heard a lot of this and had a time, time to process it. So I'm
Right.
hearing a lot of this right now, and this is bigger than I thought it could ever be, man. So anybody listening, y'all here right now, we need to get this man a shipping container in the city of Detroit in a place where he can give this knowledge and help people get healthy, because we all know Detroit, man, one of the most obese cities in the country, man. And so we need to help this man change lives, brother. Man, and you ride bikes. This all started on the bike tip.
Man, it's meant to be, man. We had to connect, and I put it out there too, man. I was a lot later than I expected, man. But like you say, it was meant to be like this, because had you heard it for the second time, it wouldn't have had the effect it had, man. And everything is in divine order. If you've read the book The Alchemist, I believe the term is Maktub or Maktub, and it is written, man. All of this stuff is not for no reason, brother.
Give me all the information and give everybody all the information on how we can support you, how we can get a hold of you, everything that's going on, bro.
Yes, indeed. So I'm fortunate enough to have veganblackguy.com. Go to veganblackguy.com. I got about a 5-minute story on there, guys. Well, I pretty much discuss everything in a nutshell that we kind of talked about today. But you can't miss this interview, because this one went went deep, right? So vegan black guy at vegan black guy on Facebook, at vegan black guy on Instagram, and I'm always sharing my journey, sharing stuff that I'm eating, sharing my workouts. Hit me with a DM, guys. Any questions, concerns, comments, anything for the good of the cause, I'm here to answer. I just feel like it's my duty. I'm just trying to give people not really what was given to me, but what I decided to take. We have to take control of our lives, guys. And you lose that 100 pounds, that whatever you're trying to lose. I'm trying to add 10 years on the back end. So let's live long, and I'm gonna see y'all at the top.
Brother, I appreciate you coming on. We're going to have to do like a part two and
Of
do
course,
something. When we can get together in person, I want to come, eat some of that food. So we're going to do a whole thing, because you
let's get it.
definitely, you touching on something. We need to do a pop-up or something where we can start getting you out here. You know what I mean? Hey, you know I know how to organize a crowd. So let me put
Hey,
something together,
that's
and we
right.
gonna get this food out here, and we gonna ride some e-bikes together. Cartiear, man, thank you for coming on today. Man, you just brought me out of a funk I've been in. I got 4 wisdom teeth that have to be pulled next week. I'm in massive pain right now, brother, but you have made this unbelievable. Thank you for that, man. And I'm gonna get at you, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna do some stuff together.
Yes, indeed, brother. I'm looking forward to it. It's been an absolute pleasure to share my story, man. And if anything, hopefully it can help change a life or two out there.
Nah,
We will definitely link up.
you definitely already changed 2 lives. You done changed mine, and now, and I know my producer Anthony sitting right here nodding his head. I'm about to start crying again. Man, get off my screen. I gotta
Hey,
let you go. I'm gonna get with you, brother. I love you.
all right, love you too, brother. Anthony, cut out the tears, man, if you can, man.
I'll talk to you in a minute. Wow, man, another week. Uh, it's without words. When I try to put these things together, once again, I try to bring you some information, something you might have never heard. Man, yeah. It's been a rough couple days, but we gonna get through it, everybody. See you next week.